Today, we're digging into something really powerful, a set of rules that can take an IT department from being just a cost center, the place you call when things break, to being a genuine strategic partner for the entire business. And the insights we're diving into? They come from research by Virtualization Options LLC, a tech advisory group based out of Colorado. So let me ask you this. Does your IT department ever feel like a complete black box? When something goes wrong, it feels like it disrupts everything. It's this constant state of reaction, always fighting fires instead of actually preventing them. It's a super common frustration, but you know what? It really doesn't have to be that way. The answer? The solution here is a strategic playbook called ITIL for Service Management Practices. Now, just think of it as a playbook. It's a set of structured, repeatable processes that bring order, predictability, and this is the most important part, real business value to everything IT does. It's how IT finally gets to switch from playing defense to playing offense. We're going to walk through this playbook in 3 main phases. First, we'll look at how you design services that actually deliver value. Then we'll see how you keep those services running smoothly day to day. And finally, we'll explore how you constantly get better to make an even bigger impact on the business. All right, so everything starts with design. This phase is all about making absolutely sure that IT is building the right things from the get-go, and that every single service is directly tied to what the business really needs to succeed. The first critical practice here is business analysis. Seriously, this is the bridge between a business problem and an IT solution. It's not about throwing cool tech at a problem, it's about doing the hard work, digging deep into what the business and its users actually need, gathering all their requirements, and then looking at all the potential solutions to figure out which one delivers the most bang for the buck. And this is where it gets real. For one healthcare provider, the business analyst didn't just hear, "Hey, check-in is slow." No, they went in, they observed the workflows, they interviewed the staff, and they identified that an integrated kiosk system could slash patient wait times by a massive 40%. Now that is turning an operational headache into a huge business win. Now, another key piece of the design phase is service request management. We've all been here. You need a new laptop for work. Well, instead of some chaotic mess of emails and follow-ups, this practice creates a smooth, predictable, and totally automated journey. You just pick what you need from a pre-approved list, the approval is handled automatically behind the scenes, and you can track it right to your desk. So much more efficient for everybody involved. So, you've designed these great services. Awesome. But now, how do you keep them running like a well-oiled machine, day in and day out? Well, that brings us right into phase 2, running smooth operations. Okay, when something breaks, and things will always break, the first responder on the scene is incident management. Its goal is laser-focused on one thing: get things back to normal as fast as humanly possible. This isn't about finding the deep, philosophical root cause yet. This is about stopping the bleeding and minimizing the damage to the business right now. And the impact of doing this well is just huge. By setting up smarter routing and better knowledge bases, one financial firm was able to cut its mean time to resolution, which is just a fancy way of saying the average time it takes to fix something, by 30%. And get this, they also massively improved their first contact resolution rate. 60% of all issues were solved during the very first call or email. You know what that means? No more endless ticket bouncing. People get their problems fixed and get back to their real jobs faster. And the bottom line? It all adds up. For that same company, these improvements led to an estimated $3.2 million in annual savings. That's from less downtime and way more productivity. That's real, tangible value you can take to the bank. But it is so important to understand this distinction. Incident management is the firefighter. Their job is to put out the fire immediately. But what if the same fire keeps starting in the same place? Well, that's where its partner, problem management, comes in. That's the detective work. The part focused on finding the root cause to make sure that fire never starts again. And that detective work leads us perfectly into phase 3, getting better over time. This is how smart organizations learn from what goes wrong, how they get to the bottom of those annoying recurring issues, and how they make systematic changes so their services just get stronger and more reliable. This timeline is a perfect example of problem management in action. First, the data shows a pattern. Hey, the network is going down every single Tuesday afternoon. So the investigation team digs in and connects it to a huge data sink. The quick workaround? Let's just reschedule that sync to after hours. That stops the immediate pain. But they didn't stop there. The permanent fix, the real solution, was to optimize the network and the sync process itself, completely wiping out the root cause for good. Part of getting better is also about releasing new stuff without breaking everything in the process. This is where service validation and testing is so crucial. For instance, by moving from manual testing to automated testing, one company just slashed the number of problems caused by new releases. And on top of that, they lowered their testing costs. Higher quality and lower costs, that is a huge win-win. So we've looked at all these individual pieces, but their true power, the real magic, is unleashed when they all work together as one seamless integrated system. This is where IT really truly becomes a strategic game changer. It all starts when the system is smart enough to see that the same issue is popping up again and again and again. That pattern automatically kicks off a formal problem investigation. A team is now on the case, tasked with looking way beyond just the surface level symptoms. And that deep dive investigation leads to a permanent fix. It's this beautiful, virtuous cycle that ensures the organization is constantly learning and stamping out sources of failure for good. And the results of this whole integrated approach? Well, they really speak for themselves. Companies that get this right see incredible gains, a 42% boost in productivity, incidents getting solved 67% faster, and an 86% success rate for new releases. And these aren't just IT stats. These are core business performance numbers. This is how it happens. This is how IT stops being a reactive cost center and evolves into a proactive, strategic partner. It's no longer just about keeping the lights on. It's about designing, delivering, and constantly improving services that directly fuel the success of the entire business. Which really just leaves us with one final question to think about. When you look at your own organization's IT, is it built simply to react when things go wrong, or is it truly designed with a strategic playbook to help the business win?